You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. How we doing? How we doing? It's a great day. We're going to talk about it. We got Jim Cramer. Going to talk a little bit about Costco.
Now, this longtime Cramer fave big box chain has been a huge winner for shareholders, rallying about 50% over the past 12 months. And it just keeps climbing. Today, it surged another 2.8% after Oppenheimer upgraded Costco, citing the company's bullish outlook and the fact that the stock has not run as much as others here. Now, could it have more room to go higher? On Friday, we spoke to Craig Jelinek.
What's going on? And, folks, you're getting into it. It's 2025. This is the Money Mike. The Money Mikes. Let's make $1 million podcast, and we're going to rock and roll on that. It's going to be a great 2025, and we're going to just walk you down. But I want to bring something to everybody's table that everybody utilizes, right? And that's Costco. And
Costco's bankable president and CEO who does very little TV. I need you to take a look at this. You have 100 million members. I think a lot of people believe it's the price. Other people believe it's a treasure hunt. I think it's the people. We always see the same people for years. How do you keep them?
Well, I think since the beginning, when our founder Jim Senegal and Jeff Brotman, when the company started, we always wanted to have great prices, never do it on the back of your people, pay good wages. And one of the things that we always want to do is pay great wages. If you look at our employees that have been around for our employees 10 years or more, they make almost $29 an hour. Our average wage is about almost $25 an hour. So it's just wages, and we think we're a good place to work. We pay benefits. We've got great people. We want people to stay for the long term. We have 401ks. And it's just great when you have great people who stay with you and are loyal to the company.
And when you look at Costco, what's going on with Costco? You got to ask yourself, first of all, how can Costco lose? Is it even possible, right? And when you dial it down, and what Money Mike dials it down, right? So let's look at it. You got Ron, right?
It's just the right thing to do.
It is counterintuitive in America to think that you can offer the best benefits and the highest wages and still have incredible profit margins. Jim told me the churn, the way the turnover at all the other stores makes it so that you can afford to have those profit margins and still do better than everybody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want longevity. You want good employees. They know their jobs. They show you ways to become more efficient as a company. You're only as good as the employees that work with you.
Now, you have a few more than 500 stores, 546 stores in America, total of 785, and yet you're the third largest. How can you have so few stores and be the third largest?
Well, as you probably know, we're not a margin company, we're a volume company. And we need a lot of volume going through these, as we call them, warehouses. So that's really what it's about. We do a lot with very few units. We turn a lot of inventory, and it just works the best way for us to do it that way. We will continue to expand our Costco's, but we're not going to have one on every corner.
Ron Vargas, right? CEO is running Costco. When he gets up in the morning, he looks at charts and sees every Costco store. What are they doing? And you got to give Ron just a solution here, because with Costco, they got a very unique business model. And the opportunity is there. The projection's there for the next few years of growth. They're retooling. And what Ron has got on the table is that Costco is going to take us into the future. And that is the main play behind it. Now, let's take a look at what's going on in the market with Costco. And, they're trending right now. I mean, they're bottom up 916. But this one has a engine. Every time you get in a car, everybody wants to go as fast as a Tesla. Well, Costco is going to go fast as a Tesla. And when you look at the charts show me something really interesting here. And I can push it from a 1 day. Let's look at a 5 day, because they got to figure out they kind of bounce down pretty low. And but that it really doesn't mean anything at this point in time. And you've got coming here, you can see in a month, well, Costco was trending high, and obviously the beginning of the year. I mean, I haven't seen too many stocks come out of the gate the first part of the year. They're not like a New Year's resolution. It's kind of like a New Year's rebuild. What we can do is get it right so we don't blow it again the next year, right? But you look at 6 months, and the reason I'm taking you down this because basically you got Cramer and his charitable trust. And if you're not familiar with Jim Cramer, what Cramer does is the charitable trust. He's been on for years. I've seen his meltdowns, and he likes Costco. And you got to look at that and say, well, if Cramer likes Costco, okay, and when you get to something like this, here's the key of the collaboration. And you look at Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. We're all talking about make $1 million. We're going to show you how. It's not a very complicated process, but we're going to lead you to where you can start looking at things that are going to change your life over the next 3 to 5 years. Costco is going to be one of them, right? So, and Kramer loves it because of its longevity, what it does, how its performance, and let's face it, everybody goes to Costco, right? So how can you get in the business and go wrong, right? But you got to look at this too, and you got to look at Microsoft, right? Because Microsoft, every one of these has to have a partner. You can't pull off what they're trying to do. Microsoft can't pull it off. There's no doubt about it, right? And you got to look in there. Okay, then you got another name I'm going to throw at you, and that's Doug McMillan. Now, what's Doug? If you don't, probably never seen the face. That's Walmart CEO, right? So all of these guys are in the same business of distribution. They're doing the same bet at the same time of going in there, and they're going to invest and retool through AI. And when you look at the amount of billions of dollars, I mean, this is a serious game changer. That's why I go back to Ron. And Costco is projected that they're going to take a little dip, but then they're going to start running, and they're not going to stop running. Once you tool into AI, it's going to be a game changer across the board. And then who else wants to play, right? You got to look at AI and who else wants to play. Well, Bezos at Amazon wants to play too, but these guys got a partner. They cannot pull this off. It's no longer being a single titan. It's no different than the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast, where you have to have collaborations. What do I mean by that? I just got off the phone with New York, okay, Video Nest and Eli, right? We're talking strategy. What do we want to do in 2025? And we're talking about different platforms. So there's multiple platforms, and these guys got to bring it together, and Bezos is dumping in. Bezos is not worried. I mean, he kind of went through it, and then you're going to bring in Stanky, right? So you got AT&T. Who's going to wire all this up for you? And John Stanky's just licking his chops. I mean, there's no other player in the game. There's no other player in the game. I'll repeat, there's no other player in the game that can do what they can do, right? Because you got to look at that. You got to look at, don't be crazy, because Bezos knows I can wire anything you guys need. I've got the fiber. I've got the wire technology. I can take you from San Francisco to China, and there's another communications company to do that. And because I own all this copper and pair that nobody wants to buy, right? AT&T, I'm 23 years retired from AT&T. I'll tell you, this is a big ship that's going to turn around, and I'm telling you, Stanky's licking his chops because he's a partner too. But when you get into it, you look at it, and you start punching the numbers, right? Well, let's go year to date. What has Costco done? There's a floor, right? You see the dots here, 919. That's what they want to build in as a floor, right? In the 5-year, you got it right there. Where have they been, right? So when you start pushing this out, you can see the growth, all right? And this is where Mark gets to let you know, and this is where Kramer's talking about when you got something that's good, okay, and the person that's running the ship is doing a great job, you just follow that trend. Costco, we all go there. They haven't missed. And what do we always complain about Costco? Every time we go in there, what do? We spend more money than we were intending to spend. That's why they do what they do, and that's why Ron is good at doing what he do. You got a good captain of the ship when you talk about Ron, and Kramer's not going to miss this, right? Because he's going to get it in there. Another thing, I'll do some recap for you too, because what Cramer likes to do, and it's a really brilliant idea. He's built over 30 years. He gets the callers to call in, and he kind of tapes them up, does a little research, and comes back and says, okay, these are calls I want to play. And I'm just kind of speculating on that, but I get his point. And what Jim does, Jim is CEO bound. And I'll tell you this, just like Warren Buffett, right? I'll bring that story to you too. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's got a very interesting belief on how he does business, and Jim and Warren know each other well, right? But way Warren Buffett does business is he says, look, I don't need you to give me a 10,000 page prospectus on the success of the business I'm trying to buy. He said, if you're buying that or you're taking that from somebody who's trying to sell it to you, what do you think? He said, they're sending you a bunch of garbage. He says, he goes in, he looks at simple companies, and that's why he's saying, look, there is nothing simpler than Coca-Cola, right? They make soda, they put it in a bottle, they give it. There's no fancy idea. But this thing here is ratcheting up, and AI technology is going to run with this, right? So Costco wholesale, they are kicking tail 5 years. What did Costco do? If you would have been smart, let's think about it, right? Let's think about it. 2020, right? You're getting pandemic and everything rocked and roll. What happened, right? You could have bought Costco for $300 a share, right? Let's get into it because you got to watch these charts and you got to understand, like, they're going to get a little resistant, right? You come back and then it's going to build itself. And there's got to be a bottom, right? The bottom has got to fit somewhere. If you see me moving that graph right there, you got a bottom that's got to fit in there. So that's the trending. But guess what? Costco went through the pandemic, figured it out. Okay, Ron, CEO, COO, figured it out, and then he took off, right? He took off. And now what the number one thing that I like about Costco that really stands out for me is Costco doesn't have a cash problem, right? They don't have a cash problem. All right. So when you get into corporations and there's a lot of debt on the books, right? Costco's deal is we buy it, sell it, we distribute it, we get it in, we get it out. We're seasonal. We keep changing with the seasonal. And you got to look at that. That is a major undertaking. But AI is going to streamline that process for them. And efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Why is everybody so excited about AI? Because it's going to make you the most efficient business in the world. And another one I'm going to look at later on, and I really got to look at this, is the fast food industry. Because they're opening more stores because now you don't have to pay the labor load. But to do that, you got to look at it. Microsoft, everybody's dumping billions of dollars. Folks, that's a lot of money to tool this out. And this one here is a winner by far. So, Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast, we walked you down. There's a lot of players in the game, but Jim Cramer, he likes Costco. There ain't no doubt about it. And when you got a solid fish on the line, and it's a big time, you got to know, keep your eye on Satya. That's coming in there out of India running Microsoft. Again, Doug McMillan, man, he can get it done. There ain't no doubt about Doug. I'll tell you that right now. And when he gets it done, Walmart, they're distribution, just like Amazon, and they are retooling and investing. Ron's going to win. I believe in it. There's no sugarcoat, blue-collar worker, but he knows how to do business, and that's just the way it is. Bezos, keep your eye on him. He's got some new stuff rolling. And, of course, John Stakey, AT&T. You know what? No one's ever been fired for choosing AT&T, and that's where Money Mike learned just about how to run the world. So you stay tuned. This is the Money Mike's $1 Million Podcast, 2025. Let's make money, and let's have fun doing it. We'll see you soon.